Welcome to unofficialaciguide.com. I'm Jody. Today we're going to look at segmentation and ACI, looking at isolated EPGs and how those work. Let's take a look.
All right, folks, we're going to take a look real quick at something called isolated EPGs. So for those of you who have been doing networking for a number of years, you're familiar with PVLANs. Isolated EPGs and ACI is very similar to this from a segmentation mechanism. So the idea here is that we have an endpoint group, which, as you know, by default, any other endpoint in the same common endpoint group, it's free communication. We don't, we don't restrict communication between those devices. However, there may be instances where you do have a desire to have none of the endpoints inside of the endpoint group talk to each other, but only talk to ACI as the gateway or the firewall or something else. So what we're going to do here is we're going to show you that we've got traffic flowing inside of the endpoint group. We're going to enable an isolated EPG, which is going to restrict communication from those devices in the same endpoint group to each other. So Louis, take it away and show us what we got on Spirent.
Sure. Thank you, Jody. So what we got here right now is MAMOS 31 to MAMOS 33 and MAMOS 33 to MAMOS 31. We have a bidirectional flow, same EPG as you mentioned before. As you see, it's VLAN 100 and subnet is the same, just different endpoints. So if we basically the communication go from MAMOS 31 in part 1 to MAMOS 33 in part 2. And right now, we go to the EPGs, operational, we see all their endpoints right now, which is the Spirent right now, and some VMs. What's going to happen is we're going to code the communication between each other. So we're going to policy, and then we're going to enforce intra-EPG isolation. Enforce, hit OK, and then we're going to submit. So we changes, and now we check the Spirent. Magic happened. No communication. Communication has been disabled between the endpoints.
Now, if we were to log on to one, do we have a VM in that VLAN or that EPG that we can get into and hit the gateway just to show that's working?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go back to personal. So we got NetBN.
Yeah, any of those will work.
Yeah. Let me log into the center. Okay, so let's go VN. Quick. For example, we can go over here.
Sure.
Console. IP of this guy. So this is 100.1.
Yeah.
And
the gateway is 100.1, right?
That's correct, sir. So
okay.
Here we go. We can ping the gateway all day.
There we go. Okay. So the Spirent is showing us traffic that is not going between each other because each of those endpoints are trying to ping each other. This is a real VM. We're pinging the gateway. That traffic is allowed. Isolated EPG is configured. So, all right, cool. Thanks, Louis.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for watching the video today. If you'd like more ACI how-tos, design guides, and best practices, check us out on the web at unofficialaciiguide.com or on YouTube.